Week 16. Questions from Bethany, for clarification on last week's channelings. Saint Germain said, those who are scheduled to go, and that is perhaps not the right expression but contracted through soul to go, will move to the higher dimension and third-dimensional earth will live on, however in a more beneficent manner. Q. Where he says, those scheduled to go and move to a higher dimension, is he referring to those ready to ascend to 5D or does he mean those, still resolutely unawakened in 3D, whose soul contract means their ascension journey will have to continue elsewhere on another 3D planet? I'm unclear if this is what he meant when he said, and third-dimensional earth will live on. This means whoever's soul contracted to go. This is all being done by soul contract. Everyone is playing a part in it but only some will go to 5D. Q. If my memory isn't failing me, I seem to recall either Ivo or Ashtar saying that unawakened 3D souls will not be able to tolerate the higher vibration on New Earth and will have to leave to continue their ascension journey on another 3D planet. They did say this and that was originally the plan, however now it's changed to allow for a 3D Earth. So I take it as a good sign, Bethany, that 3D is allowed to live on for another 26,000 years and those unawakened can ascend when their vibration allows for it. Saint Germain goes on to say, with soul preparing to go micronova, solar scientists are having a field day around the sun. This of course is to protect you from any ill effects and to have the solar release produce the ascension effect it is supposed to. Q. When Saint Germain refers to solar scientists having a field day around the sun, is he talking about Earth scientists or just galactic ones, like Ivo? And when he says, protect you from all ill effects, is he referring to all of humanity or just those ready for 5D? He means everyone. As for scientists, there are two camps, the ones who protect the narrative and the ones who reveal the lies behind the narrative. Many of the ones from Earth are the ones who protect the narrative, although not all. Galactic ones will reveal the truth. Another few questions are about the islands of light you've spoken of in the recent past. I don't use that term, Bethany. I say light cities, which may be more vague but it still gets the point across. Q. Will the islands of light come into existence before the solar event or be created as a result of the event and will be where all those who ascend to 5D live on, New Earth? Saint Germain, as for islands of light, I now already live upon one. My dear, the fifth dimensional grid is the grid that is to contain the new planet. Yes, there are many grids, Sharon is reminding me, however there is also a physical grid that is waiting for those upon Earth to inhabit it, so to speak. Kind of like when you put up wood framing to create the basic structure of a house. Although there are people who have seen 5D Earth and it appears to be similar to 3D/4D Earth right now. Why? Because their mind is creating that world. You have to have a fifth dimensional frequency to create/see a fifth dimensional world. Saint Germain, Sharon reminds me of a time she rose from her sleep at 2 a.m. to look out the window. What she witnessed was a grid being created by ships. This was the blueprint for the new Earth. The details are yours to fill in. Yes, do not be surprised, you are the creators of this new sector of universe. You were created in God's image and this is part of your collective task. There are some of you who hold a fifth dimensional vibration now and this vibration is being taken in by the grid in order to create physical Earth. If you live, perhaps in Canada as Sharon does, her fifth dimensional vibration is creating a spot around her circumference. She imagines what this fifth dimensional area will look like and as she does so, she is creating this reality within the 5D grid. You are amazed at how powerful you are? Do not be amazed, for the human mind is what creates the world you live upon. You are its creators and the ones who keep it up. How often have you created a cooked dish without thinking of how it will be put together first? Or you have made it so often you do not have to think it through first, you simply do it from rote. Worlds are the same, you think it through and it is created by your mind. Once the event is carried out, the completion of the world will be done. The energies are now there, they are being linked to those who hold the fifth dimensional frequency now, and when more raise their frequency to do so then the Earth will be completed in the new dimension. Look at it this way, perhaps 144,000 of you got together for a grand meeting. In this meeting you discussed your expectations of the fifth dimensional Earth and what you desired to see upon it. You continue to meet. You are all linked telepathically and each's mind influences the other. As more of you link to the 5D grid, your collective influence is felt on the grid and construction continues. More will join you later as they too raise their vibration. With the event, however, most people of Earth will move to 5D, not just the 144,000. The 144,000 are the original architects of this 5D Earth because many of you are experienced in lifetimes as the original creators of many areas of space. I believe they are referred to as the ancient builder race. Some of the 144,000 have already moved on to Islands of Light or are currently waiting. Q. Will the Islands of Light only be home to those who've ascended to 5D, or will those on their ascension journey in 4D also live there? Saint Germain, only those of 5th dimensional frequency can live in the 5D. It is a must that the frequency of the Earthling reach 5D in order to live there. There is also the Earth that is transcending the 4th dimension as its people begin to understand unity consciousness. When the event happens, the sudden influx of higher energies will clear negative energy from many 4th dimensional souls, and this will push them forward into the 5th dimension. I think it's a question of what constitutes an island of light. Saint Germain, yes, perhaps we should define this. For now the 5th dimensional grid is populated with islands of light. When all of those creators who are contracted to move to 5th dimensional Earth do so with the event, the new world will be completed and there will no longer be any islands, it will all be one planet. Q. Will the Islands of Light be under a dome? Saint Germain, arguably all worlds live under a dome. This is called the atmosphere. So yes, 5D Earth will have an atmosphere, and if a particular area desires a particular atmosphere for itself, then it can become domed. Q. If, unawakened, people survive the solar event and live outside the Islands of Light, will their eventual fate be extinction in the tsunamis that are said will sweep the Earth when the pole shift happens? And if the Islands of Light will be home to only those in 5D, will those who've ascended to 4D be protected somehow, or will they meet the same fate as those in 3D? Saint Germain, unawakened people will survive the solar event on the 3rd dimensional timeline. This timeline is already guarded and protected. This is why it is no longer necessary to ship the people of Earth to other 3rd dimensional planets. Those traversing the 4th dimension will be pushed up to the 5th dimension in a split-second transmutation of their negative energy. The cataclysms which will plague the Earth in days to come have already begun, and they are not as severe as previously thought. Yes, Atlantis and Lemuria will rise again, however there will be safe areas for those in the lower dimensions to travel to, and they will be warned to move. So, to summarize, some people have already ascended from 5D Earth in our past, and they are the ones who are living on Islands of Light, such as Shangri-La, the Grand Teton, and other higher dimensional areas of Earth that were thought to be myth. There are people who are the original creators of worlds who have come here to create the new 5D Earth. The grid has been created, and the necessary electromagnetic etc. fields are most likely in place, saying this because I haven't confirmed it. The timeline has been secured and we're on it. Those original creators are being drawn on to create the new world as they live in 3D/4D. Once the event happens, all those who are already of higher frequency will ascend to 5D to live on this Earth and to continue to change and to create it. You have to realize that your world changes as your thoughts change. The house across the street is there only because you believe it is, and if your mind were powerful enough you could think it out of existence. This is how you create a new world, with your mind and your energy. 3D Earth will go through changes, but the people can still survive if they're contracted to. There are people now who are retrieving the original history of the Earth using their intellects through their argument of Tartaria. Evidence is now cropping up of the existence of giants, the Nephilim and their children, living among the smaller-sized humans, which is us. Why this now? Because of the new timeline revealing secrets that can no longer be hidden as they could be in 3D. 3D Earth will continue on, in a more beneficent manner, in a more normal manner, allowing people to continue to wake up. Of course, we of the higher dimensions will be helping them to do so, which is what our task always is. The Illuminati will eventually be defeated, even on this lower timeline. Defeating them is a question of waking up and not giving in to their lies. Embrace the truth. This is the only path of ascension.